Hi everyone!
Hello.
We got married! Woo, woo, woo. I haven't done a video for a couple of weeks or for a week or so, and that's because me and Rich got married last weekend. When this video goes up, it'll be Saturday 24th of September. We got married. Quick disclaimer, we're both so tired.
Very.
Which is why we might not seem that enthusiastic. Rich has a really bad cough, so he might cough throughout this whole video.
Yeah, sorry.
We're currently in Soho farmhouse, just like recuperating because we are exhausted, but it was the best day ever.
The best. Being biased.
We are so biased. It was the best wedding ever. But we thought we'd quickly just talk through like where we've been, what happened, and then as I told you guys, I am going to be uploading a video, but all the videos and photos take so long to come and I'm desperate to share everything with you guys. I've put a couple of photos on Instagram, but until the rest come, this is as much as we can do. We got married on the 24th of September in Suffolk, which is where Rich is from.
Stomping ground.
Yeah. So Rich wore, what did you wear?
So I got my suit from a place called Oscar Milo in Spitalfields.
Yeah.
One of these cool little designer shops. Got my full suit from there. Got my shirts from Ted Baker and my tie from ASOS. That was a great bargain.
Yeah.
Oh, and my shoes. I love my shoes. Best shoes I've ever bought. They were from Justin Reese.
Yeah, really cool
with
brand.
like blue
Blue
laces and then blue wingtips, and very nice. Love them.
My dress was from a brand called Catherine Dean. It was actually separate, so it was a skirt and like a bodice, but I actually got them to sew it together because I was worried it would kind of separate and you'd see my stomach. So it was sewn together, and then I had a lace top as well. So it was 3 parts, 3 separates. It was much more affordable than I wanted to spend. I was so happy with it. But when I tried it on, I didn't really try dancing. And the third time I tried it on, I suddenly realized that my arms were really restricted and I just didn't want to be one of those brides that was like all night. So I actually got another top from Needle and Thread, and I changed into that after the kind of champagne reception for dinner and dancing, and I could just let my arms free and dance, and it was great. Let loose. It was like a little sparkly beaded number. My shoes were from Steve Madden. I bought them in New York and I changed into my Converse in the evening. So Hershisons came and did my hair. Sean from Hershisons, what a dude. I absolutely love him. He did my hair, my mum and my sister's. Incredible. He did it up in like this plaited do. I will share photos when I have, and put in some like ivy and little flowers. I really, really liked it. Sam Chapman from Pixie Boo did my makeup, which was so incredible, such an honor. It was so nice to have her there in the morning. She was so calming and so lovely. She also did my mum's makeup. Bobbi Brown sent Ashley and Amy, who are both pro artists, to come and do my sisters, my sister-in-law and mother-in-law, and a few of my friends, and they were incredible. Such nice girls, amazing makeup artists. So yeah, thanks to Bobbi Brown because they absolutely loved that. I guess that's when the wedding started. So we got married in a venue that had basically a big barn and a small barn. So the ceremony and the champagne reception were in the small barn, and then you moved into the big barn. Rich walked in first with his parents. Yep. All our friends were there. We had just over 100 guests, so it was quite small, I thought. And the whole place was just decorated in like beautiful like ivy and eucalyptus. We walked down the aisle to a Beach Boys song, one of my faves. The kids actually made it down the aisle.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
All 3 of them.
They like did rose petals.
But they were chucking the petals not on the aisle,
like to the side,
but actually at the people. So they were literally walking down, throwing it into the chairs.
The fact that they walked down without having a fit was just some kind of miracle. And then I walked in with my dad. We were going to walk in with both parents, but the aisle was too narrow. So I walked in with my dad. My best friend Jake actually did the ceremony for us, which was incredible. Yeah. We wanted it to be really personal, and it was so incredible. It was so nice to have someone I've known my whole life do the ceremony. Rich's sister did a reading. My best friend SJ and Andy from Mama's Gun, who you probably know, did a song. They sung At Last by Etta James.
Great.
It was so good.
So good. And
as part of the ceremony as well, Jake gathered some marriage advice from some of our closest friends and family and worked that into the ceremony, and it was so good. That bit was like a surprise for us, and it was really funny. And it was a perfect mix between funny and like emotional as well. Bailey was like the ring bearer. He brought up the rings for us. And then at the end of the ceremony, we basically wanted to have a bit of a sing-song, a bit of a sing-along. And my dad and our neighbour and Andy started playing the guitar, and we got everyone to sing Hey Jude.
So good.
It was so random, but it worked, and it was so fun. And you know, at the end of the Hey Jude, when it's like na 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 na, everyone was just singing and coming up to hug us, and we walked out to confetti. That bit was like so good, wasn't it?
That was such a blur.
Yeah.
That was probably, everyone says really just try and take it in and just take every second in, but that literally went, that from walking down the aisle to then, it just took me, felt like it was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, the rest of it I feel like I really remember, but the ceremony felt really fast to me because it all just happened all of a sudden. Everyone had like an order of the day as well. I had a girl called Olivia Whitworth who was incredible. She did all my stationery for me. She was the girl that Rich found when he proposed with the picture. I'm going to be doing a blog post because the invitations, the save the dates, the order of the day, the menus, literally a dream. So I will definitely share those designs with you guys. She was great. So the ceremony ended. Me and Rich went off to do like 20 minutes of photos. We had a lady called Razia as our photographer, and we had a company called Real Vision do our videos. Those two things are obviously incredibly important for me. I know some people just get like friends and family to do it, but you guys know that was like one of the main things I really wanted to invest in. So we went off to do 20 minutes of photos together. We didn't want to do like loads of posy photos with family and friends because I think the natural photos are the best, and we really didn't want to miss out on that kind of part of the wedding. So we had 20 minutes. We walked around. We were so excited when we went out. We were like talking. The photographer was like, "Can you just one minute?"
She was like, "You got 20 minutes."
No, she was being so patient. We just couldn't stop talking.
Yeah.
I feel like grooms get sick after the wedding, brides get sick before. My voice is a bit funny because when I always lose my voice when I'm singing. So we did photos and then came back into the same barn where everyone stayed after the ceremony, and they had amazing canapes. We had a company called Catering for Suffolk do our food, and it was so good. Oh my god, it was all like Ottolenghi style, like Middle Eastern, delicious, really different food. And we had like a pimp your Prosecco stand, like my sister made a sign, and you had lychees and different purees and cordials that you can put into your Prosecco. We also had the table plan table there that was a mix of like plants. Basically the whole wedding there were loads of props from West Elm. It was incredible, it looked amazing. So on that table plan there was like West Elm planters with plants, and I made all these little flags with people's names on. And each table was named after a year. Most of them were named after years of family weddings. So like the year our grandparents got married, or parents or siblings. So we also had loads of framed photos of all those different weddings as well. That looked really cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
We also, during the champagne reception, had a live Cuban duo playing. We love like Cuban music. I just thought it would be really nice. We're not really the string quartet kind of couple, so we had those and they played throughout, and that was really cool as well. So after the champagne reception, it was time for the guests to make their way into the main barn. I think people at that point were like, wow, the ceremony was so cool and different, but they had no idea what was coming. And when we walked into the main barn, like we pretty much like designed the whole thing. I knew exactly what I wanted. Everything was picked and designed by us, but we had a lady who created it on the day, so we didn't really know exactly what it would look like. So how did you feel when you first saw it?
Like, again, not being biased, but when I walked in, my mouth dropped. I don't normally get like that kind of feeling. I was just like, holy fuck.
You can't say fuck on a YouTube channel.
Why?
I don't know, you've done it now, I've done it as well.
But that's how I felt. I was like, whoa. And there's so much detail, and because we had Steph do it, bring it all together.
So Steph's from a company called Revival Rooms. They are wedding planners, but we just used her for on the day coordination because I didn't want to give all our friends like a million jobs to do. So she was there on the day to decorate and make sure everything kind of went to plan.
Does all the floristry and all of that. But
so the barn was huge, really long and really high ceilings. The actual barn itself is the oldest in the UK, and we looked at a lot of barns.
Suffolk.
No, I think it's the UK. It's the UK, I'm sure.
Whatever, Karen.
We looked at loads of barns, and some were really old and rustic and a little bit too like grimy, and then some was so modern and done up that they'd lost all their character, and this was perfect. It was like, felt like it'd been renovated and it was nice and clean, but it looked so incredible and like old and like real as well. So the whole barn was decorated with festoon lighting, which is like those big bulbs that hang, fairy lights. I basically wanted it to look like a forest. That was like eucalyptus and ivy hanging everywhere,
and then you had spotlights. So
all the lights,
the team who did the lighting,
I think it's called Point Lighting. Don't worry, when I do the actual video, I'm going to link all the suppliers below, so you guys can know.
I recommend every single one of them.
Yeah, they were brilliant, all of them.
But they were just amazing. They got it. They knew it. Like the lighting guy, he came around and he goes, right, I'm going to put all these little spotlights around. And I was like, what spotlights? And he's like, trust me, watch this. He put all the spotlights up and he just lit up
like
all the flowers and all the detail that we had put together, pulled together with Steph.
Yeah.
He just brought it all to light.
Over the dance floor.
Whoa.
Yeah, over the dance floor was like all these hanging festoon lights and like loads of fairy lights behind where the band were going to be. We also had like a sofa area with like a West Elm sofa and loads of decor, like the detail. And at the back of the barn was like a dessert table with lights that said eat, and we had all the dessert there. We had like Livia's crumbles, Krispy Kreme donuts. Oh, it was so good. We also had a photo booth later in the evening from a company called Sweets and Treats, which worked out so well. It was so fun.
They're a really good one.
So we went into the barn and everyone kind of found their seats, and we had a few speeches, but they were in between courses rather than all together at the end.
You did a speech?
Yeah, so the first speech was my dad, which was hilarious. Oh my god, there was one point in the speech where he referred to me, my mum and my sisters as his bitches. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone laugh so much in my life. It was so funny. I did a speech to introduce Richard's speech, but it was...
Yours was like a proper speech, it was good.
Were you surprised it was like a proper speech?
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like 3 or 4 minutes, because you said you were just going to introduce me, but it was a good, speech. Long... Like,
it wasn't long, it was like 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like a normal, good, it was a good speech.
And then Rich did his. Yours was I was so impressed with your speech. Everyone was laughing. I feel like you know a speech is good when people at the wedding who don't know you that well, you know, there's always a few people who aren't completely like in the inner circle, and they were like really laughing.
Yeah.
And then Nevo, Rich's best friend, our best friend, did a best man speech as well. So the starter was like delicious, like fig and mozzarella, rocket salad. With like Parma ham.
And then the boards. So we had homemade made fresh flatbreads, and then like loads of hummus, and it made homemade dipping oils like basil and chili oils. And
the main was also like sharing. So there was one person for each table that was designated as the carver, and they got an H&M home apron, like a really nice grey apron. And I made like a little sheet of paper that told them that they were the carver. And so we had this amazing like marinated Middle Eastern lamb, and then loads of bowls, like these amazing West Elm bowls filled with lots of different salads. There was like cauliflower, sweet potato, green beans.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Like quinoa.
Yeah.
So everyone was just sharing and getting stuck in. It was quite good for socialising as well.
It's a real feast.
Exactly. And it was delicious. Oh my god, I wish I'd eaten more. Everyone says that you don't eat your wedding. I really tried. It wasn't that I didn't have time to eat. It was like there's other things I wanted to do. I was so excited.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it, seriously. After dinner, our friends actually surprised us, my sisters and our friends surprised us with a video. So they put up this huge projector, and my sister Carly had kind of organised this, but everyone had got involved, and it was basically this huge piss take video out of me and what I do and vlogging. It was so funny. Anna, like Debs, Hannah, SJ, Keisha, all my friends were involved. My dad was in there. They were basically just like pretending to vlog. I really want to put it on my YouTube channel, but I haven't quite decided if it's like too... I don't know. I'm going to think about it, but it was so funny.
It was very funny.
At one point it was like hashtag ad in the corner. It was just so good.
Real piss take.
It was so good, yeah. And then we did our first dance.
Yep.
We had a band, but it was kind of a band that had been put together by friends. They're not a wedding band. It was Andy and his wife Jodie, and then they kind of got a few friends together, a couple of people from Mama's Gun, a couple of session musicians. They were incredible. They played for an hour. We did our first dance to the Eagles' Love Will Keep Us Alive. I can't believe we actually did a first dance, but it was alright. And
we did a 12. You did a 12.
I did a 12. We were so nervous. We can't slow dance. But everyone joined in. It was fine.
Yep.
And then it was just like crazy dancing for an hour. And then we had a DJ, Zoe, London DJ. She's brilliant. So everyone loved the playlist. It was basically a throwback playlist DJ set. So like lots of early 2000, you know, Blue Cantrell, Breathe, that kind of stuff. I feel like I don't even know what we've missed out, but that was kind of it. And then it went on all night and we danced. At the end, I really wanted the last song to be Take That, Never Forget. And I'm so glad we did it because Anna's Mark, and our friends Mike, Paul, and Ryan, my brother-in-law, got up on stage as like a Take That tribute band, and they were like pretending with the microphones.
Like a gig. It was like their gig.
The videographer had gone home by that point, but the photographer was there. It was literally like they were doing a gig. It was so funny. And that was probably definitely one of my favourite bits.
Yeah.
And I hope we haven't forgotten anything. We had like a beer station.
So the beer station, we got our own local brewery to do a keg, bring a keg and loads of bottle beers, and it was all set out nicely.
It looked amazing. We also had our own slow gin for a year. Since last October we've been...
No one knew.
No, we've been collecting vintage shot glasses from all these different charity shops around the UK. Everyone's been helping us. So everyone had this vintage shot glass. And then last October we actually picked sloes from Hampstead Heath in London, and we had to like prick every sloe, and we put it in the gin and sugar and made our own sloe gin. We had to like shake it every 6 weeks, and that's been living in our flat for a year. So everyone had a shot of sloe gin at the end of the best man speech, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
We made our own cocktails. One was called Pebbles Punch and one was called the Dancing Dudley.
Yeah.
Rich's middle name's Dudley, so funny. I had my leather jacket with me, which I put on at the end of the night to go home.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of it. I mean, there's no way you can even visualize how incredible it looked until you see photos and videos, and I can't wait to share all the photos and stuff with you, so sorry if I'm going to drive you mad, but it's been a year in the planning and I've kept so secretive about everything that now I just want to tell everyone everything. So I will be spamming you with wedding stuff for a while and then it's back to normal life. So thank you for being patient with me before, when you guys didn't know I was getting married and everyone was like, why are your videos become so boring? Because we were so busy. Oh my god, it was so, that week before the wedding was awful. But we were both really chilled. I'm really proud of us. I was a very chilled bride, even on the day. Like I just was so excited and happy, and I know that I was chilled. I'm not just saying that, people told me I was, and you were really good as well. Rich was so helpful with the whole planning process. We really did it together, and I'm so proud that nothing went wrong. It was perfect. There was like the odd few logistical things that I might have changed looking back, but nothing major, and it really was the best. It was better than I ever could have imagined. Yeah,
like just the barn. I think the barn, walking into that main barn, seeing people's faces.
Yeah.
Just people just standing there in awe, looking around.
Yeah.
Because so much, just so good.
So good. Okay, so thank you guys so much. We're so excited to be Mr. and Mrs. Can't wait to get my rings back. I've had to get it resized. I've like injured my finger trying to get it off. Rich has a Russian style wedding ring.
Really cool.
It is cool. You look so grown up wearing it. So that's it.
I'm a man.
Together forever. You're stuck with me. Thanks. That's what husbands are for. Bye.
Bye.
Casual 20-minute video.